Good evening. We bring you the latest in the world of sports. I'm Paulo Del Rosario.
And we give you the conversations you want to hear from your favorite sports icons and athletes. I'm Boom Gonzalez. And in tonight's game plan, we'll do a rundown of the off-season moves in the NBA and highlight the Gilas women's team. But first, we'll hype up the return of the PVL.
Ooh, buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Well, the wait is almost over for volleyball fans as the heart of volleyball resumes tomorrow with the Invitational Conference. Tell us about the matchups to look forward to on opening day. We have with us volleyball analyst Ayel Estranero. Welcome back to the game.
Yes.
The studio looks different right now, doesn't it?
I like it. Thanks for having me.
Oh, wow. If you like it, then we like it.
We like it. We love it too. So we came up with a list with you here in terms of the matchups to watch out for. And we are also focusing a lot on the individuals. But then when you take a look at the matchups here, what were you looking for the most when you made your picks?
No, I think it's more of looking into a certain position than seeing players who can actually step up, who are in the same position.
Before we get specific with the matchups, how exciting will it be for 3 games, 4 games a day, a sprint of a month? July is going to be wild. I'm so excited, but what are your thoughts on it?
I'm excited. It's going to be tiring, but there's going to be a lot of good games that PVL is going to offer to the entire volleyball community.
And starting with tomorrow.
Of course, a lot of new talent in the PVL to watch out for. And speaking of new, the first game that we're going to talk about here is Farm Fresh against the F2 Logistics. Who are the 2 people you picked out here, and what can we expect, especially from the new kids on block?
For the outside hitter, it's Jade Gantapa on the side of the Farm Fresh, and it's Myla Pablo on the side of F2 Logistics. I chose them because Jade Gantapa, she's a finals MVP and a best outside hitter on her own right in the collegiate level, and Myla Pablo is a seasoned player. But then both players can actually really contribute well offensively and defensively, assuming that Myla Pablo is coming in the conference healthier as she struggled due to injury towards the end of last conference.
Right. On the other side of, syempre, yung counterpart niyan is the Kiana D component. And then, sa kabila naman for Farm Fresh, so many moves until the last week, including Kate Santiago and Trisha Tubu, who you are highlighting alongside
Gail Pascual, also best opposite attacker in her own right. They have a few similarities. They are high leapers. They are scoring machines in their team. Trisha Tubo previously, and Adamson, Gail Pascual, and College of St. Benilde. And of course, they are also very capable and very aggressive on the net defense.
You know, we were talking about the rookies and new talent here, even before the show started here in the PVL. And Trisha Tubu, again, for those who may have forgotten, the second best scorer among the rookies, just behind rookie MVP Angel Canino. You take a look at the impact that she's going to have here for Farm Fresh. What do you think that is?
Oh, she's going to really be a key player for them, assuming that she's going to be one of the starters. But again, the jump from collegiate level to the pro is really big, especially that she's coming in as a rookie last season in UAP and now jumping as a rookie in the pro. So that's a big jump for her.
Very interesting matchup. A new team and a team that is coming off its best conference, talking about F2. We move on to the next one. Oh boy. Signal versus Petrogas as the second match. Who are the key matchups here? And tell me at the end, tell us, Ayel, what would be the keys to winning for both Signal and Petrogas?
It's a really great matchup. It is. Signal and Petrogas. They are composed, majority of them are veterans and experienced players. The reason why I was saying that Jel Cayuna and Janelle Cheng is gonna play a very crucial role because most of the attackers, again, experienced, very smart. So their decision making in terms of play making will really be crucial as they want to put their attackers in a very comfortable position to score.
Both national team players, Janelle Cheng doing very well in the AVC, or just did very well in the AVC.
And Jel Cayuna also with experience in the SEA Games.
Correct. And maganda to kasi these are 2 teams that didn't really make a ton of moves, just the right number of moves for their team. Sino pa?
And aside from that, you can't talk about Signal and Petrogas without talking about Jovelyn Gonzaga, who's finally back with Signal.
Speaking
and Isa Maizo Pontillas, who's a staple name, a household name in the Petrogas Angels. Both lefties, both veterans, both who are very quick and seeing the weak spots in the defense and just great offensively and as a player.
You know, it's a matchup of the generations, to be honest. They've seen so much in Philippine volleyball, respectively, itong si Joven, si Aiza Martinez.
Keys to winning. Kailangan may keys to winning tingin mo sa Signal and Petrogas.
For them, what will be key to winning really is to be able to adjust quickly. Because both teams, they're smart, but the in-game adjustments, it has to be quick and it has to be really, the execution has to be precise.
Yeah, and there's just so much to discuss. We can go deeper into that, but then let's move on to the next game. Because, you know, it's a game that I think a lot of people might be interested in. It's just, you know, Cherry Tigo and Creamline. You take a look at those matchups. But then, all joking aside, so many big names to look at here.
So many big names.
Who are the two you're putting together?
Well, definitely Ea Laure and Liza Valdez, two great players, outside hitters. If you talk about them, you just have to describe them as talented, confident, and very well-disciplined, you know, players in terms of playing. But aside from that, also you have great opposites in Mylene Paat, Tots Carlos, and Michelle Gumabao. But I think more than the player matchup, it's really the team matchup that you're gonna look forward into, because you have a team who is relatively new, fresh in terms of the lineup. You have Creamline, who has been solid for the longest time.
Made one change.
Exactly.
Yeah. One addition.
For Cherry Tigo, it's gonna be, they're coming in as a challengers, but I honestly feel like it's a big advantage for them, because in the first day, they get to see where they are at the point of the competition in terms of their system and in terms of their lineup.
Contrasting off seasons for the team. Big haul for Cherry Tigo, while Creamline, in classic Creamline fashion, one change, two changes, ganun lang ginagawa nila. Okay, we have time, so let's talk about the Ea Laure, Eliza Valdez thing, because we don't know. Eliza Valdez is coming off 7 months, the longest she's been out of playing, and Ea Laure is on top of her game. Not new to the PVL. In its previous iteration, she played at 16 years old. She was already there. What are your impressions with Eliza and Ea individually first?
So individually, they're both just very aggressive. They have the qualities of a good leader, and aside from that, they are players that you can really depend on, especially in the most crucial parts of the game. So that's two different players, a younger generation. Eliza Valdez is veterans, but they're very similar in the way that they play.
Will you speculate if she's going to start tomorrow, Eliza?
That's tough. I actually watched her interview here in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Great interview, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a chance, but also you don't want to really risk one of your best players in a... You know, it's a short tournament. Again, it's a sprint.
Fast, yes.
You have other conferences. You have Bernadette Pons, who is a really good addition in the team, who is also capable of stepping up. But, you know, we don't know what this team's players are thinking about this conference as well.
You take a look at Cherry, again, so many new faces. In fact, when we talked to Mylene about it, basically they did admit that they changed half the team almost with all of the new talent that they have. In terms of Cherry, how big of a factor will the adjustment be, knowing that chemistry isn't built over a day?
It's very big, but I think not so much as well. You have Alina Bicar, who has been a setter for UST. Some of the players who are from UST, Laure, Aimee Hernandez. But again, chemistry is not built just in a few months. It's built through years of training. But again, if they're able to adjust quickly, then it's going to be good for them.
Are we not talking about Michelle Gumabao that much because she's coming off her best conference in previous years? Then we talked about Tots and Eliza, and Gia, of course, will be the engine. But the Michelle Gumabao factor will be... I think she's coming in hot in this PVL Invitational.
She's definitely, for sure, that Best Opposite Award. More than that, the championship as well, last conference, and even coming in as defending champions will be a really big motivation for her to continue playing in that level and to be able to contribute bigger, especially now that PVL is so much bigger with the new additions, teams and players.
Deepest. In terms of the talent level, we're so excited. It's happening tomorrow. It starts in the morning all the way till the evening. Triple header to explode and to start the PVL Invitationals. Ayel, thank you as always for being with us, and we'll see you this week. In the meantime, after the break, we shift to hoops as we take a look at the biggest winners during the NBA Draft Weekend. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back to the game. The NBA draft weekend was full of new beginnings and blockbuster moves. And joining us tonight to grade some of the biggest moves is basketball analyst Coach Mark Molina is with us. No surprises to start off the draft.
Huh? I think so.
Coach Mark.
At the very top.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
At the very top.
At the very top. And the first three were pretty much what you expected. But let's talk about that with the Spurs. I'm saying also not only excited to see Wemby play, but how Coach Pop will actually coach him. And that's part of the excitement. For me, what is it for you, Coach?
I think it's a big advantage on the part of Wembanyama.
Yeah.
To be coached by Greg Popovich in his initial years. Not just by Greg Popovich, but to be in that Spurs organization. I mean, I saw that welcome dinner that he had there, and Duncan is there, Robinson is there. What more can you ask for? These guys are not just superstars or all-stars or legends, but they're class people, they're class acts. So this is the exact environment somebody like Wemby will need, because it's not easy what he's going through. The hype is there, and sometimes young players get surrounded by this hype and they can't handle it.
And what I love about that entire environment that he was in is that I've never seen Tim Duncan look so small around Victor Wembanyama or anyone. David Robinson looked tiny.
Shrinking in front of him.
But yeah, look, what we are going to do here today is that we're going to ask Coach Mark here to give letter grades to all the moves here. So we're going to go with the very obvious one first.
Okay.
Victor Wembanyama to the Spurs. What letter grade do you give the Spurs?
It's an A+. Is A+ the highest grade?
Yeah, I think so, right? I think you can go higher than that with bonus. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, just to say it, Brandon Miller to the Hornets. Now, this was actually booed by the Hornets fans who wanted a Scoot Henderson instead of a Brandon Miller. Why would people boo him? And of course, what grade would you give?
I think Scoot Henderson is the safer bet. I think he's the more sure thing to become a star or an all-star. His floor is higher. But the ceiling of Brandon Miller, I think, is higher than Scoot Henderson. And that's why the Hornets took him. Besides the fact that they already have a point guard in LaMelo.
Yeah.
I would give this a B+. I like this pick. There's a little bit of, I think there's some risk to it. Because Brandon Miller is not an out-of-this-world athlete.
Okay.
He can definitely shoot. That's there. The length is there. The size at his position is there. But the athleticism is a bit suspect, and the strength is a bit suspect. And if that doesn't develop, he might be a good player, but maybe not an all-star. But if he develops the strength and he plays the power forward position, I think that is his position long term. I don't know if he's strong enough to play it in the first couple of years. Maybe because he's a small forward the first couple of years, first 3-4 years. But if he develops the strength to guard the bigger players, he's going to be a matchup nightmare, because he can be something like a Paul George playing the power forward position, or a Brandon Ingram type of a player. But,
okay, I like that.
But playing the four.
Right. So, number 1 seed, Alabama, 18-8 was his average from the top seed. You said B+. How about the next player that you mentioned already, Scoot? Is he a backup plan if Dame leaves Portland? And what is your grade for Scoot?
Grade is an A. Okay. He is the obvious choice here. And I don't think he's a backup plan. Okay. To me,
he's the plan.
Portland has to look for that Dame Lillard trade right now.
Okay.
They cannot make the same mistake that Washington did with Bradley Beal. They waited a little bit too long.
Right.
Maybe a couple of years late in making that deal, and they did not get much from that.
Yeah.
At this stage, Portland will get the highest value for Dame. A Miami trade will probably get them Hero and 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
I'll make that deal tomorrow.
Because you already have Scoot.
Because you have Scoot, you have Simons, you have
that's right. So para kami,
Shadon Sharp.
Para kami new generation CJ and Dame together with Simons
and
Scoot.
then if you can get another young budding star in like a Tyler Hero, plus picks, I'll make that trade.
I like that.
I like how you're thinking.
He's not talking like an executive here, Coach Mark. But then, Coach Mark, all right, now let's talk about current stars here. Celtics made a trade wherein they got Kristaps Porzingis, and Memphis for some reason ended up with a Marcus Smart, which is very emotional to all the Boston fans out there.
Also to a lot of
shock a lot.
fans.
Of course, you take a look at that. There's just so much. Of course, the Wizards gets a lot of pieces: Jones, Gallinari, Muscala, and as well as a pick in the future. Your grade on the trade here for the three teams, and of course, can we expect that much from Kristaps Porzingis here with Boston?
I don't like the trade for both teams, to be honest. I think it's a C for both of them. I don't like the Celtics losing Smart because of all the intangibles that he brings to the table, plus the fact that they are now very thin at point guard. One Brogdon injury, and I don't know what's going to happen to the Celtics because they only have Derek White there, and White is also playing the two.
And point guard has been their problem also.
That's right. I don't think Porzingis makes that big of a difference for Smart. Although the picks are there, I love the picks that they got. They got a couple of first-round picks together with Kristaps, which is good.
Yeah,
which is always a win.
That's what it's all about.
Which is always a win. But you're the Celtics. You're probably in win now situation. But then again, it hasn't worked for them the last couple of years. So maybe Brad Stevens wanted to rock the boat.
Is Marcus Smart the kind of guy though that Memphis needs because they need a vet who really glues all of these kids together?
The intangibles are there. Defensively, it's a good trade. You have now Jaren Jackson and Smart there. But I am not convinced. I may be wrong. But I am not convinced that he is the right guy to pair with Ja Morant because he is not a floor spacer.
But what if they got him as a locker room guy also? Because that's what they need.
They kind of need guidance. Yeah,
exactly.
You're correct. That's probably the reason why they did it.
And the guy can play.
Tyus Jones is maybe one of the best backup point guards in the league. And in fact, when Ja doesn't play, they have a good record because of Tyus Jones.
They do.
I don't think that Marcus Smart is equal to Tyus Jones plus 2 first-round picks. And then again, as I said, Tyus Jones can play off the ball better than Marcus Smart. I'm not saying that Marcus Smart and Ja Morant cannot play together, but I have to see it first to believe it.
All right, so this one got everyone saying, well, this is weird. Chris Paul is going to be a Golden State Warrior, and the Wizards get Jordan Poole and 2 future picks. Don't know how to make sense of it. A lot of people still don't days after the trade. So what do you make of this?
Well, among all of the trades that the Wizards did, I think this is the one that makes sense the most. Because,
for the Wizards.
For the Wizards.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Poole with the right situation, with the right opportunities, can be an all-star. And I think he's going to have all the shots that he needs to be an all-star, to be a 20-point, maybe 25-point scorer with Washington. So I love this trade for the Wizards. I don't know what Chris Paul will be doing with the Warriors. Maybe they're not done dealing yet.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Baka i-wave pa to and shop around because he just doesn't fit the high-octane offense of the Warriors.
I think they just wanted to get rid of the contract of Jordan Poole.
Yeah,
that's why they did this. I don't think Paul and Steph can play together for sure on the offensive end, but they're going to get abused defensively.
Get rid of the contract and get rid of the tension between him and Draymond Green. Okay, we have one last one. We have to get your thoughts on the Bradley Beal situation with the Suns in general. What do you think? What is your grade?
The Suns hit a home run here. I think this is an A. Because of the fact that not only did they get Bradley Beal, but who did they give up? They did not give up practically nobody from their rotation.
Picks.
Nothing. It's like second-round picks and pick swaps.
Right.
Yeah.
And those pick swaps don't really matter because they expect to be contenders this coming season. But this is still a work in progress because they would need still a point guard.
Yeah, the surrounding players.
I think Jordan Goodwin, the one that came with Beal, will be a good backup point guard there.
Yeah.
But they don't have a starter yet. But to get Beal for practically nothing and have Beal, Booker, and Durant together.
That trade is an example of just how expensive a no-trade clause is on Bradley Beal.
And that's why the Wizards realized that they should have traded Bradley Beal instead of signing that long-term contract.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, Coach, we really appreciate your time, your insights, not just thinking like a coach, but an executive as well. Maraming salamat, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
So after the break, we'll take a look at what's in store for our Gilas women's team in the ongoing FIBA Women's Asia Cup. Stay tuned. You're watching The Game. Welcome back. You're watching The Game. The FIBA Asia Cup released the women's final 12 roster in the ongoing tournament. One of the Philippines' finest female basketball players, Jack Imam, returns after an overseas stint and a full recovery from her knee injury. The Gilas squad also sees the addition of star recruit Vanessa De Jesus, Gilas youth alumni Lona Ozar, and Ateneo Lady Eagles Jasmine Hosod. The Philippines is currently playing host nation Australia, unfortunately losing big at the moment, 56-23. Now you can catch the continuing coverage live on One Sports and One Sports Plus, as well as Pilipinas Live, an app that you can find on the App Store as well. There will be 2 more games in the group phase, with Gilas Women's facing Japan tomorrow at 3 p.m. and Chinese Taipei on Wednesday, 5:30 in the afternoon.
Now we move over to the men's side as the FIBA Basketball World Cup is coming here to Manila. Here's how you can catch the games live and in person to be part of basketball history.
Nothing beats watching the FIBA World Cup live and in person. Buy your single-day pass and get access to 2 live games of the FIBA Basketball World Cup for as low as 999 pesos. Enjoy this world-class game viewing experience for the entire family and witness the greatest basketball athletes in the world compete for as low as 999 pesos for 2 games. Head to philippines.worldcup.basketball for more information, ticket types, seat information, and other special offers. Be a part of Philippine basketball history and buy your tickets today.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Boom Gonzalez.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.